Alex, thanks for joining me. I'm doing this series of chats with leading figures from the industry about how we're sort of coping with coronavirus. First of all, let's just check where you are. How are you, your friends and family, and how are your colleagues? Has the virus affected Gemserv much?
Yes. I mean, thanks, Sumit, for inviting me onto your program. Yeah, we've had to shut the office and move 210 staff to working from home. So we did that overnight following the government's advice, and we've been running the business, trying to get to a BAU position since then. So we've changed the way that we work. We were quite office focused for bits of our business before, and now we're doing all that remotely. So some interesting challenges. We've been working with clients to help them use our technology. We've invested a lot in the last year, and actually our business continuity plan was not responding to a pandemic, although we did practice that before, but it does involve everyone working remotely in case the office is not available. So we tested it, we put it in place, and now we're working on a backup to our backup to ensure that we have resilience, because we do provide some essential services to the energy industry that need to continue.
Before we go into what you've done, do you want to just outline for some of the viewers what Gemserv does, if people aren't fully aware of what Gemserv's role is?
Yeah, sure. So we're a professional services company. We provide consultancy and outsourcing services in a world driven by data and technology. We're particularly well known for the work that we do in the energy industry, where we manage a number of the codes and some of the systems. But we also have work in healthcare, and we have work. We do a lot of work with the government and public sector, looking after energy-related programs in the main.
If you look at what every CEO has, the main thing is the integrity of your business, hand in glove with the safety of your staff. When that decision came along, and the government said, look, home working if we can, did you ever think, actually, there's a core part of my team that should always be, for some people in the industry I've talked to, they have to have people on site and out there working, particularly the networks examples like that, or did you instantly go, right, okay, do you know what, my paramount thing is get people safe, get them working from home?
So we're not in the position that the networks are, and I understand they would need people available on site. We're a knowledge-based business, and to that end, there was no need to have people in the office. So the decision was taken to tell everyone to work from home. We subsequently then closed the office for security reasons. So yeah, that wasn't a particular challenge for us. We have other challenges that we're getting to grips with at the moment.
Okay, let's talk through those then. Moving 200 odd staff overnight isn't that easy. Trying to get 200 laptops out there.
No. So we were all laptop up. Our systems are in the cloud. So that was relatively straightforward. It's more about staff and fear. People don't know, this is unexpected. We don't know when it's going to end. We've got, there's friends and family who are getting sick from the disease, from the virus, and it's supporting those staff members get through this. I mean, I can see you're in your living room there, and I'm in mine here. But a lot of our staff are younger, in shared accommodation. They don't have the same sort of facilities, and they're at home with maybe 5 other people all doing the same thing. So it's not straightforward from that point of view. But we're getting through it. The people are resilient. They're putting in place different approaches to working with clients, greater contact point with each other. They're arranging gem bars. So we have a gem bar once a month where we provide a bar in the office. What the staff have done is doing it offline now, so they're doing it in their own houses and so forth. And there's coffee breaks together as a team. So the people are finding their own way through this. I've been invited to join a group at work, which is for parents, how to deal with your kids whilst working. So there's different things, looking at different demographics, I suppose.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? How, I mean, never have imagined what a week ago, let alone 3 weeks ago, what has befallen all of us. And I think that's one thing that, we are generally a social bunch, and particularly offices. Offices, of course, have politics, but offices have teams, and teams work together. They bounce off each other, and I know that's affected our own team at Energy Live News. But how have you managed to keep the teams that are working to know what they're doing, and get that communication going when it's all virtual?
So, there's different levels. So within the teams working for particular clients, they're catching up daily. So the manager will talk to all their staff members and have a touch-in point about what everyone's going to be doing that day. We use Microsoft Teams as our platform, so there's lots of messaging going across that to go at work. I mean, Zoom's very good as well, so lots of options there. From the senior team, we're doing a staff stand-up session, 20-minute every 2 weeks. We've advanced that. We do that weekly now, and that's a live broadcast with live questions from anyone in the company. Numbers have gone through the roof, actually. There's people attending that. We also provide updates every few days on what's going on in the business. We're developing an additional business plan that will steer us through this challenging time, and we're going to share that with the staff. So we're being open in what we do, and we're being open with our clients as well about what we can do for them.
Let's talk staff, and then let's talk clients. So how important is it for you as a CEO to communicate right now?
I think it's absolutely crucial. Every time I get on a call, I always put the video on now. So people are getting sick to death with looking at the pictures behind me. But I think that contact is really important to just show people that you're human, but also trying to get across the physical gap between us as we're talking now. And I don't think you can over communicate these things either. So we're constantly talking about it with staff and what we're doing, and I'm picking up the phone, talking to people about how they're getting on with their clients, or with a particular internal function or whatever.
I think the thing is, for the sector, I mean, it's such a weird thing to happen. Perhaps we could have scenario planned for lots of different things: a massive outage, or a business goes under, or there's you'd think of all the things that you'd possibly think of, maybe a terrorist attack, all of those things. But to think of a shutdown, effectively, of the country, how are you communicating to your customers that it is business as usual? And is it business as usual, or there are certain things you can't do? Have you managed to transform everything you do into this virtual sort of interface?
So we have an area of business called major accounts, which is our essentially outsourcing of particular functions, mainly in energy. And we've spoken to all of those clients, and we've explained what we're going to do. Some of them were working out of our offices anyway, so they got to know pretty quick what we were doing. On our consultancy business, we have 50 projects at any one time, and we've spoken to all of our clients. And what we've done is we've rejigged projects to focus on things that we can do remotely. And we've also started bringing in, we were already in the process of this, but bringing in tools so that we don't need to be physically on site to do the audit and assurance work that we were doing before. We can do it remotely. So what we've done is, this is just advanced plans we were already doing in our business to digitize everything that we do.
I'm really sorry. You can probably hear the baby screaming in the background.
I couldn't actually. I could hear my daughter in the background as well. So.
That's fine. That's fine. But that's the thing about the way we work in now. We all have to take a little bit of we're trying to do professional as we can, but these are the things the distractions that we all live with, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know if this is appropriate for this, but I was helping my daughter make fairy cakes just before we came on. So yes, I do that. Actually getting a moment, to be able to think about something for a few hours without being disrupted is a luxury that has gone for the moment.
No, absolutely. But I mean, getting back to that point, which is, despite all these distractions and all the things you're saying, do you think that we are so lucky that we live in this time where we can carry on business through the internet, through the virtual space now?
I think it could be worse, but I mean, I don't want to take anything away. I mean, there's people in my network who have lost their jobs, and I've got CVs from people, and I know people with coronavirus. So I mean, is absolutely a disaster from a health point of view. And all praise to the NHS as well. We're doing a fantastic job. But I think beyond that, the impact on the economy and people's jobs, and the government's done great actually with the measures it's put in place, but there's still people being laid off, and that will have a long tail to it. So, but I agree. I mean, if we had this 10, 20 years ago,
Mm,
you wouldn't be able to jump on a video call like this. But
no,
maybe 20 years ago for a video call, but yeah.
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 The issue about the energy sector, I suppose, the NHS without doubt gets all the headlines, and it should do. But the real fundamentals of our society are based on the energy sector and the resilience, which is why energy people, utilities people, are key workers, according to government. Because without the power, we wouldn't be talking now. Without the power, those ventilators wouldn't be working in the hospital. So,
Yeah.
do you think, in a way, the energy sector has really risen to the challenge in these kind of unforeseen times?
I think it has. I mean, I think, I saw the interview you had with Basil, at UKPN, and his reaction to that. And I agree with what he said as well, that it's not quite the same. The NHS staff are putting their lives on the line.
Absolutely.
The network companies are carrying on doing emergency work. And, the energy suppliers are still going into people's houses and making safe and all the rest of it. So they're doing a fantastic job as well. The industry is expected to be resilient, and the regulator holds us account to that. That's why Gemserv has comprehensive plans in place for this.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hopefully be talking to Jonathan Brearley, the CEO of Ofgem, in one of these chats as well.
Mm.
Looking at where we are, we all hope this is short term, maybe 2-3 months. But you must have to scenario plan as a CEO that it may have a longer tail, as you were saying.
Yeah.
What do you think the fundamental differences could be? And I don't want to hold you a prediction, but just some sort of idea what you think this might do to the energy sector.
I think it will advance moves it's already had to digitalize rules. So some of the stuff we're involved in around governance, the rules of the regulatory side of things, we are trying to put in place systems that will make it simpler for people to trade. I think this may speed it up. Obviously, any marginal provider in this may find themselves some trouble, I suspect. I think I think it's going to. I think if you take the point more generally across the whole of society, I think it's like when you have a war, it speeds up
Yeah.
uh, things that are already changing. So in First and Second World War, sort of women's rights, women in work. I think with this, it will speed up things to around remote working. I think it will around using technology. I think it will. I think it also shows that, and this is perhaps a link to net zero, in my mind anyway, because I
Mm,
think the 2020s will be the decade of decarbonisation when we
of
get
course.
beyond this particular moment. I think what we're seeing here is that when people are aligned with government and the government takes strong action by putting in place laws, then things can happen really, really quickly.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if we took the same attitude to decarbonisation, we could really make a difference. And
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's incredible, isn't it? The stories that you're getting of Venice and the fish in the, China, you can see the air. London itself, the nitrogen dioxide has dropped literally overnight in just a couple of days. So the planet has the ability, and it's tragic that it's taken something so devastating as this
Yeah.
to put in. But it does show, in a way, I suppose, that if we all work together, things can happen much quicker than we think.
Yes. Yeah, they can. And I think that if you can get the public on side, which obviously the government was trying to do with this approach and the whole
Yeah,
focus around the NHS in terms of messaging and getting people involved with volunteering to help their neighbours, then you can do a hell of a lot. You can move people in a long, long way with this. I think we need to find the same sort of drivers for decarbonisation because, I looked at the Committee on Climate Change report from last year, and there
mm,
was only, I think, 7 out of 24 targets that were on track. And, a load of them were in the power and industry sector anyways, which we know
yeah,
is doing quite well on this front.
yeah.
So we've got we've got tons of work to do for net zero. And yeah, so I think there's some bits in this that hopefully to a positive note that we can take forward into the decarbonisation agenda.
I mean, there is speculation, and that's all it is, that this will fundamentally change the number of brokers we have, suppliers, who will be out there. It's a bit like after 2008-9, when the global crash happened. So, but with that, unfortunately, there will be some job losses, but also there will be opportunities. There could be new companies springing up. There could be new provisions in the energy sector that we never even thought about. So if you look at it, and again, we're in just the beginning of this, but if we take a positive spin and it takes us 3 to 4 months to get out of the worst of this, and then we start to recover, do you think we'll learn maybe that actually this will spur new thinking in the sector? Not just the remote stuff, but maybe people look at, hang on, if this happened, could we have different technologies? Could we invest in different things? Let's look around, and we're seeing things that are happening by us not doing. I mean, do I really need to have all my staff at work? Do I need to make that journey? All these things that, suddenly I thought were vital to my life myself. And now I'm thinking, well, this is interesting.
Yeah, totally. I mean, looking at our business and what we're doing, I think we can move a lot faster to have people remote working who want to. Do you know what? It's not everyone's ideal working from home.
Not mine.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm with you on that one.
Finally, as a challenge, I mean, you've been in the job. Is it a couple of years now? You've been doing the job.
Yeah, it's come up to 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever think you'd face something like this?
No, it's funny you say. It's funny you say that. I was chatting to we had a board meeting recently. So, and actually, just come back to your previous point. Actually, I was going to say this was on innovation. I write a commentary on what's going really well, and I put in the previous one that the energy industry is alive with innovation and great ideas and really talented people coming into it. And I think this may affect some of that, but I think it will come back because the energy industry is transforming.
Yeah.
But I also said to the board that this wasn't discussed during the interview, but but that's why but we're Gemserv's in good shape, and we're seeing opportunities for us. We've reached out to our customers to help them, regardless if we get paid or not, on helping them adapt to working remotely if that's what they need. And we're happy to offer that to any Energy Live news audience as well.
That's really
so if we can help with that, that offers there.
No, that's a fantastic, and that's the thing. It's like, if we can get the sector to help each other, that would be a great thing right now.
Yeah, and I think it's time to do that as well. Whilst this is going on. And the quicker it comes back, the better it is for everyone.
Excellent. Alex, thank you so much for your time. Stay safe, and all the best to you and your staff at Gemserv.
Yeah, and to you, Sumit. Thank you.